Alright, so here we are with the Bathurst. I will go through and do the DAP this way again. Then we can use the time for any question and answer, and hopefully you can apply this any knowledge during practice. So this last corner I just came through in the first corner, very similar, other than you can't touch the curb on the last corner. You can barely touch it on this entry one, or if you get too much of it, it really doesn't hurt you. Last one, it throws the car in the air, so you have to be really careful on the last corner. But both of them are not corners that I like to trail brake into. I like to get my braking done, coast, and get on power as early as possible and carry the speed. So as we head down here to turn one, what I'm looking at is the 50 board, and I start picking up this discoloration in the track. So there's kind of the end of it. I'm into it on hot weather. My braking zone in hot weather here doesn't change significantly, just because I want to carry that speed and kind of roll in and get on power. So I'll come down here for the 50, right at the 50, down to third, on power. It uses all the exit. That is not a 1X. It's clean. So you want to use as much of that as you can, and get the wheel kind of straight and get on power. So we go all the way down this. Obviously, I'll speed it up a little bit. It's pretty easy. Straight ahead. As we come down here, this braking zone does change for me in the weather, and it changes also what gear I use. So in this cold weather, I can use fourth even when the tires are worn. When it gets a little hotter, I have to use fourth when the tires are fresh for like 4 or 5 laps, then I have to switch to third. If it's really hot, it's third all the time. Forced elbow is the same way. Forced elbow, I'll use third here. As it transitions, there's a third gear for the first 5 laps, and I start using second. If it's really hot, it's second all the time. So this is kind of fourth here and third here, makes it easy even as the tires wear. So what I'm looking at is hot weather. It's kind of the end of this. This cold weather, I'm actually getting past the 50. So this one does change pretty significantly with the weather, but I think that's more because you're going uphill as well. So you kind of have that potential energy slow as well as you come up this hill. So the hill helps you slow as well. So I'll come into it in fourth gear. Real important to be smooth on the entry. There's a couple bumps, but you want to be smooth and get on power and use this exit. Just carry as much as you can up through here. If you miss that a little bit, it's not too hurtful just because you have such a short little run to this next corner. So it hurts more on the next one because it's so long up that hill. So the better you get out of this next left, or the second left, the tight one, you're gonna carry that speed all the way up the hill. So it pays dividends there. So as we come up to it, this corner, I'm kind of middle of the track, a little more left. I'm definitely not down to the wall. Never want to be, because I think the car is kind of pointing the wrong direction then as you come toward the wall. I want the car as straight as I can as I come into the corner and not still be turning. So I pick up these red markers in this shadow. I don't like using shadows, so I know it's kind of these reds where I want to get on the brake. It's not a very heavy braking zone for me. It's definitely braking. Down to third, and I'll kind of go up here. There's a mark in the track. Boom. This X is right on the white. And that's my point that I get my eyes to, I want to get the car to, and I want to be on power by that point. So it's kind of my marker, all weather. Get through this corner good, the camber on the inside, you just launch up the hill. And a note that all the way up this hill is huge draft. So if you're gaining on someone, it does not mean you got a better exit. You have to really gain on them to know you got a better exit. If you are only holding station in terms of time with them, they got a better exit. So you can kind of use that knowledge to know, okay, am I beating the person in this section? Where am I better? As you're kind of trying to figure things out, you can use that to understand kind of where you stand to that person. So we'll come through here, brake, look at that point, back on power, use the camber all the way out. You want to kind of unwind that wheel as you come over that little crest. If you have too much steering angle in, there's a little crest there, and the back end will want to break loose. There's a bump here on this right side, and higher horsepower cars kind of have to avoid it. In this car, you can kind of just ride the inside. I will track out in this lap pretty far to the left. I really don't have to. I'm just kind of letting the car go where it wants and just trying not to hit the wall. But it's kind of one of those things where the less steering is better in terms of not scrubbing any speed. So we'll let it go up this hill. So I'll let it float out here pretty far where I don't really have to. Same with this next one, but it's wide open as you come up here. You can use that curve, doesn't really matter. This corner, I kind of go mid-track, and then I will pick up this edit-add word, the second one, letter D, and that's kind of where I just aim the car. I aim the car at the D. When I know I'm there, then I pick up the inside apex and just kind of let the car go through there. It should be wide open pretty much in any weather in this car. So if you're having to lift, you're probably not getting the arc kind of right as you come through here. This last one, hot weather, yeah, I have to lift just a little bit. I never fully lift in this corner. Here in this cold weather, it's pretty flat, obviously. So you want to be, kind of at this curb. I want to have my shift to fifth done even before I get in here, no matter what weather, even if it's a short shift then, because I don't want to be shifting and doing other things as I go through this corner. I want to get my shift done and be able to have both hands, back up on the wheel as I come through this corner. I like to turn in a little early, and I like to clip the curb. My propensity is always kind of turn in early. It's something I have to fight in places. Here it kind of seems to help me as I clip this curb, and it's really no issue then getting through the curb, through this, and worrying about that outside curb. So clip it just a little bit all the way through. All right, the hardest section of the track. Hot weather, I'm braking way up here. This cold weather, I can get past the sign, but I still need to get some braking done before the crest. So I kind of treat this as three corners. You're braking before the crest, you're releasing, you're braking into the left-hander a little bit, maybe even goosing the gas down to the next, then you're braking again. I might not even lift off the brake depending on how it's feeling, but it's definitely kind of more brake pressure release, more brake pressure release, little pressure on the right-hander. And you want to hug that last right-hander's wall to the left so that you're set up nicely to power through that last little left-right kink. So you should be able to power all the way through it. I'll go through it slow here actually first. So you see I'm barely on the brakes as I come in, and I'll stay on that. And I'll release and then even gas. And then I'll get right back on the brake as I get my downshift. I'll get my downshift to fourth. Done. I did that just back there. Then I'll brake, kind of use this curve, brake as I come through, release, maybe, might be on it. Yeah, here I stayed on it. But brake very nicely and accelerate then if I can through that, brake again. I told you it's like 4 braking zones. And then I should be able to, as I come over this crest, the car's going to push, so it looks like I'm aiming at the wall. Well, I probably am, because I know the car is going to be sliding a little bit to the right. So I'm letting it go, and then I'm back on full power as I come over that crest right there, and feed in the power nicely. Don't stab at it too much. Just kind of nice rate of apply, and then you'll be able to drive right out. It's just a drive out. The car doesn't snap or anything on you. So it's really important to get this kind of section here coming into it right. If you're too much speed in here, you push to the left side, then it's all messed up. Then you really can't do anything. So everything about this section is set up for this part right here. So the better you can set yourself up for that last little part, the better your lap time will be. Let me go back here and we'll play it at full speed. Alright, last corner. As we come around here again, I like to late apex this corner. Let me go show you my distinguishing mark. Another corner I have a mark on. This little square right here. Hot weather, I'm braking before this. This cold weather, I get a little bit past it, but there's that crest. So you kind of need to have some braking done before that crest, or else it's just really hard to slow the car as the downhill's there. There's camber, though, on the left side near the wall. So I like to make sure I get, let me play it slow actually. I like to make sure that I get kind of mid-track. You can see I'm even counter steering here as I come in, which is kind of normal. Mid-track where that black line is, and then get down to the wall, kind of where the F starts. There's camber down here that helps you around this corner, and the wall kind of flattens and then kind of has a point. And you can kind of see this point right here sticking, and that's what my eyes go to, and I want to be on power then as I come out of here. And then it's nice. It doesn't throw you out to the wall or anything, but it's all about kind of controlling that entry speed. And again, in this weather, I am using third. If it gets hot, I will actually be going down to second, but it's a very quick second. It kind of helps the car slow as you go through that downhill, and you're back into third really quick as you come out. Here though, third gear, on power, drive right out. Alright, so now we have this nice long straight. All I'll say about the straight is obviously there's huge draft. If you're playing leapfrog with someone, you want to be beside them, if not passing before that bridge. If you're not, you kind of run the risk of slowing both of you up as you go through this section. So kind of play it by ear. You know, if you're 7/10 back, a second back, you're going to be on them as you go down here easily. And you kind of have to then say, am I losing all that time in the mountain? If I am, that person's probably helping me lap time. You get by them and hold them up through the mountain. You know, it kind of kills the laps for both of you then. So we come down here. I never use sixth. I should try it sometimes, but I think it's garbage gear. So I'm looking here at the this little indent. You can see this another kind of discolored section. In hot weather, I'm kind of before this colored section. In this weather, I can make it to this kind of indent. I can even get a little further. This corner actually does kind of trail braking does help you through this when you get it right. I don't always do it. I kind of lift and coast through it a lot of times. When I get it right, I'm always like, what did I do? And I'll look back and see that I did trail brake it really nicely. But it's just, I don't know, it's a corner that once you get in the flow of it, you got it. And I do not always have the flow in this corner. So it's just a clip of this curb and then using the output, the outer curb as well. So brake hard. Use the outer curb. You can use a little bit of it to, yep, right there. And it's just full pedal to the last corner. So as I said to start, the last corner is a lot like the first. The big difference being you just can't clip this curb. When you clip it, it throws the car in the air for some reason. So there's this shadow. I don't like using shadows, but it's the discolored track as well, and the 50 board. So when I see that, I definitely brake early. Release, carry my speed on power down the straight. So, and you can use a little bit of this curb on the exit. You can't use as much as the first turn. Excuse me, sorry, but you can use a bit of it. So we'll come down here, brake, yep, pretty early, third gear, and back on power as you exit, and that's a lap. So it's you know, not too much. It's just keeping your flow through those walls up top. Seems like a track where you get 1 or 2 X's, or you've got 25 and you're done. So it's hit the wall a couple times, and it really kills you at this place. So I'll play this same lap back at full speed without me chatting, and you'll have something to reference. All right, I hope everyone enjoyed the lap, and if you have any questions during our DAP, I can for sure answer them. And again, hopefully you can apply some of this during the practice session.